This is a similar story. Like, it did the opposite of expectations, so maybe it's not going to be as strong as I want it to be, and you are not yet at the ultimate support level, which ended up being back down here at the 28. So putting those two things together, I just elected to say, hey, forget about this going into VWAP or reloading it in here. Let's just abort the plan because it's not trading the way that I want it to in that moment. Now, ultimately, anybody can see what happened next. Right after we finish the morning show, it goes into that 28 level, gives you a reversion trade that's much stronger into VWAP. So it was the right plan of action. Going on to something else at right after we finished the morning show was a bit of a mistake. So it was right to get away from it, but probably needed that third entry, which gave you the good one. But the good news is aborted a plan that's usually a very structured trade because it just didn't add up in the moment. Yes, the execution plan was there, and I could have stuck with it, but sometimes you've just got to be able to get away from it. And this is especially true when you're doing something which both of these two trades had. You were against the general trend of the day. If you are with the trend of the day and you have an execution plan of action, you stick to it because you're with the trend. When you're against the grain, sometimes you've got to abort. And there's nothing wrong with that, preserving some capital. As long as you look back and you go over your trades and you realize, was that a good decision? Yes, I can continue to make that adjustment. Was it a bad decision? Maybe I don't make that adjustment next time. But just because you have a plan doesn't mean you have to be stubborn about it. And a couple of examples there where it looked like it was working. I probably could have tried to stick with it, but it was just a lot easier to abort and wait for the next opportunity. That's your lesson of the day.
Gold as usual. Nothing short of it. So I think that's it. Well, Obi gets his mic set up. Obi, what is pushing for the high a day, my friend?
Oh, boy.
What is pushing it? IBIT. Let's go. We're looking to make.
So is the spider.
So is the spider.
So is Apple.
So is Apple. It's just like you could almost throw a dart and hit a stock that is going to make a high a day. But what are you cooking up there, my friend? Oh, sorry. Nick W., before we headed to you, I got our 2 NY cent. He asked me to look at something for him. The Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF. The fund seeks to track the total return of the Dow Jones US Dividend 100 Index. The index is designed to measure the stock performance of high dividend yielding companies with a record of consistently paying dividends, selected for fundamental strength relative to their peers based on financial ratios. I'm liking the look of it as of right now, 2 NY cent. But again, you're going to want to wait for that pullback. I mean, as you can see from a daily perspective, it's a little bit extended. It did gap up, but I do think you can get a better price on that one. Let it breach that gap to the downside and then look to join long. You don't need to chase it up here, right? Even though it may go a little bit higher, you might have to sit on your hands for a little bit, but that's okay because eventually I do think it comes in, partially fills that gap, and you can look to start building size from that point. But what happened, I'll pull up my IBIT before I send it off to Obi real quick, because unfortunately, I did have a plan thesis when I mentioned to you guys, I did think we were going to go and test that high a day, but what happened is it came back and stopped me out break even. I didn't punch it again when I should have for that second move because I would have got a little bit better of a price and then I would have got that cleaner leg to the top side. But as you can see, we had this little bit of accumulation phase, the consolidation, liquidity grabs down here, and then makes that move to the northeast. But what do you got going on right now, my guy?
I'm just, again, patiently waiting, watching some of this price action here. Got involved in that Google as we rejected off that 21,200 mark. Again, trend hasn't really broken just yet. We could just be getting some trend deceleration as well. I have no idea, but let's see if this reversion can potentially come in. So far, we've held some of these prior consolidations or pullback levels as well. We're making higher lows as well, so I do want to keep that into consideration here. IONQ as well, looking kind of beautiful now. Taking a little bit of a pullback here. 22.59 is the high. 21.97 we're trading at as of right now. So gonna be a little bit more patient for this one to see if that can come in here. Again, market is super strong, so I do want to be a little bit nimble on these reversions. As again, kind of have to consider that reversions work a little bit better in sideways markets than they do in trending markets. So again, can be a little bit more nuanced with that strategy, I guess. in a trending market. Now, a lot of names are all-time highs, and I'm kind of been telling myself, I'm like, all right, well, if you're looking to short all-time highs, then you have to be a lot more nimble. It's probably better to get with the trend and instead of looking for that reversal here. But let's see if we pull back a little bit off of that 21,200. We have been bidding up quite aggressively on any, I guess, the futures flow, I guess, coming in. Meta taking a bit of a pullback as well. Oh boy, Lyft still trading underneath that 18 mark as of right now as well. So let us know in the chat, what are you guys trading? I'm looking for the next trade. I'm not seeing too much as of right now. I'm seeing a potential pullback on the markets, but nothing has really confirmed just yet. We could just continue to push higher and higher, like I said before. So let's see what we got on the board here. So none of the Mag 7s are really, I mean, if you got long off of the morning session, off of any of the opening range breaks, oh boy, you are definitely sitting pretty on a lot of these names here. And I'm seeing that the super chats have kind of slowed down there, Joe.
We can get them in there.
I mean, if you guys want to see me on the after, I guess the market recap show with Sean and Nadera, let us know by throwing in those super chats. We got 6 out of 30. We got to hit that goal of 30 super chats as of right now. So let us know. Ask your questions. Show us some love. If you guys want to see me on the after show, if you guys don't, that's perfectly fine.
We want to see you. Don't get it.
I mean, you'll see me regardless. But you know, all right. So 180. We're pulling back off of that 180 as of right now on the Google. Let's see what people are tagging me in the chat. Let's see if, okay, mRNA saying Jeremy Newman. Let's take a quick look at Moderna here on the day. What has Moderna been up to? mRNA was definitely on my watch list this morning, but I kind of looked away. They had earnings this morning, and I was like, all right, well, even though they did a nice, they had a double beat on their earnings, some decent results there. No real significant action in terms of price. In the pre-market session, you can see that it ranged, couldn't really get past that 85.5 level. We made lower highs and higher lows, so a bit of price compression coming off of the open. We get that strong flush coming right in. Can't really get past that 57 mark too aggressively. And look at this consolidation going into the open. That consolidation low sitting at 55, and that range gets broken quite aggressively right off of the open, and the rebid can't really get past quarters above the 55. 23s is the high of the second 3-minute candle here before it flushes down into 52 and change on Moderna. So Moderna, quite nice if you had the flush, if you had the idea to get short on this sideways action off of their earnings. Again, earnings was quite nice, but again, I didn't really take a look at their guidance either. Price action off of the open, it seems like the shorts are definitely winning as of right now here on Moderna. El Sol saying he wants me to talk about BLND. Hey, listen, I'm not an analyst, but I'm not an analyst though. But we shall see what the ticker is up to. BLND, Blend Labs. All right, so this thing doing a little bit of relative volume here. I got 5 to 4 times the relative volume. How much volume is it actually doing? 3 million on the day so far. Not too bad with a float of 189.5 million. So not bad either when it comes to that float. Trending to the upside here, holding VWAP as well in the morning session right here and stepping up during the midday session. I like that stair step as well. Now another step up towards fresh day highs as of right now, 431s. Let's see if that step kind of consolidates above this 420 heyo mark on this second step on this Blend Labs. They had earnings, yeah, solid name there, and a solid action there, I mean, and a double beat for this one as well here on Blend Labs. Looking at here, yeah, also saying BLND had earnings, yeah, so they did have earnings with a nice little double beat there. You can see both on revenue and EPS.
Yep. Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah. Good stuff there, Obi. We got some activity in the chat. So Lewis, we're gonna look at BA right now for you, and then Vin, we're gonna get into some NVIDIA puts and calls, and then Howlar, we're gonna dive really deep into your question as well too. So we'll start it off with some BA, guys. Boeing. The machinist strike just ends. Significant pay increase. Higher contributions to the 401k for my fellow Americans. They want a pension. They got what they wanted. So is it time for this stock to continue, or will hopefully rebound and continue to the top side, because it is absolutely beat down to an absolute pulp. I can't even give you the percentage metric that it's been down from its all-time highs. But when you have little to no competitors, and I stress this enough with my peers, is like, why can't you do any better? I mean, Airbus is your only competitor. It's time to turn this ship around, this plane around, and then start to perform a little bit better. So is BA. Has BA found a bottom? Possibly. We have this isolated volume signature right here, which I really like to see. We did breach the lows slightly, but then immediately bought right back up. But long term, I think if you're looking to, it's going to need some quarters, some positive quarters ahead of it in order for this thing to really, really start moving. But from a technical standpoint, grabbing this bottom may not be an absolutely horrible thing, all right? So again, we have the strike over, increase in pay for the workers, and more contributions to pensions. So we're going to see how this reflects on the price of Boeing. But as of right now, it has been beaten to a pulp and hopefully looks like it's going to turn around. All right, so that's the look on Boeing. And then we're going to go to VIN. Yeah, VIN. That's an easy one. We don't got to get too deep into that one. NVIDIA puts or calls. I'm never shorting this thing. You can't, in my opinion. It's like, don't short this thing from an intraday perspective at all, because you will get, or not from an intraday, but from a long-term perspective, you probably will lose, because the valuations are still respectively compared to the price that it's currently trading at. So it still has some room to go. The PE isn't extended on it, so keep that in mind, especially with earnings coming up on the 22nd of November. I think that NVDA absolutely skyrockets. But one thing to keep in mind is the growth rate is hard to maintain. It's put in such an amazing cycle. To sustain that type of growth is very difficult. Expect it to wind off a little bit, but still, overall, this stock is an absolute monster, and I will look to go long NVDA. And I'm fortunate enough, when we should have grabbed it when it was $99 earlier in the summer. It'll be $100 for NVDA, and we didn't dabble into it for the long term. So that's a good look there. And Hal R, I really like this question. Joe W, if you want to go long stock with calls, what delta and time frame are you looking at to enter? So the delta, I'll just say it at this. So correct me if I'm wrong, but deltas at the money are around 0.5. All right. So I'm going to look for deltas, and at the money delta. Something I don't like buying in the money calls, right? Because you have a little bit of extrinsic value and intrinsic value, but I'm looking to buy something that is only extrinsically valuable. So either at the money, where it has no options money, well, the moneyness is at the money, where I only have extrinsic value, and I'm looking for that underlying asset to start appreciating, all right? So that's part one. And then the time frames. So I just experimented with an AMD trade, right? And unfortunately, it didn't work out. And one of the key metrics on why it didn't work out.
What's going on?
Yeah, they got some. They're trolling. Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. Anyways, the aroma of the food is just over.
The aroma of the food.
Yeah, it's just over. So they're killing it over there. So anyways, back to reality, guys. This is reality. Yeah, back to my reality here. Yeah. Sorry, I caught so much heat from that. Yeah, brisketless reality. I caught a little heat for that one. But Halar, so I just experimented with some AMD calls, playing a gap fill. And one thing that really hurt me on the trade is not having enough time. So I bought calls with a month out. So if you're looking for an immediate move, then you can lower that time frame. But if you're looking for a longer term move and you have enough data collected that you need a little bit more time, it's always better to spend a little bit more money on your options so that extrinsic value doesn't get chewed up, just in case you're not in the money right away, all right? And it takes a little while. So keep that in mind. Hopefully that answered your questions. I'm going at the money strike with a longer time frame options so that it gives you more time for it to work, because don't forget, options time decay and theta decay is real, my friend. What do you got cooking up there?
Nothing much, man. I'm watching this IONQ. This is why I wanted to be patient for that reversion to come in. I'm like, all right, sure, we got that prior bar low, but if you're getting in too early on that initial prior bar low, it's not always the best kind of a place. If the bid kind of steps right back in, again, it could just pull back up towards its highs, and that's exactly what it did. Again, it's just an indicator of a potential change in pressure, but again, the tape is definitely more telling than the chart in some of those at some of those moments there, and I'm just watching that as of right now here as we trade above this 22 mark on IONQ. Market still holding resistance there at that 21,200 on the Nasdaq and 6,000 on the ES there. Softy though, oh boy, that's where that reversion is coming in quite nicely. Look at that, beautiful, beautiful. So this one, that prior bar actually worked quite well, but look at the risk you have to be taking here. So the risk, if you're risking to the high there, I guess you're getting short here, and you're risking to the high, maybe looking for that reversion to VWAP. Is that? I guess that's a 2 to 1. That's a 2 to 1. But here's the thing: we want more. We want something that's a 3, 4, 5 to 1 on some of these reversions. And we don't want no mediocre. Let's say that with that pullback. But that pullback coming in quite nicely. The market's pulling back as well. Here, Alphabet taking a pullback, and Amazon, that consolidation low we were talking about earlier, and I was trying to get short on Amazon. So Amazon right here, look at that consolidation low at that 210 halves. That's what I was talking about. Look at that. That comes in quite nicely. We're trading at 209 halves as of right now. So, oh boy, that was definitely a trade that I missed out on. I noticed it here. I wasn't at my desk. I'm like, all right, we'll hop on the midday and then we'll reassess. And I got a piece here, but then I covered most of it on that hold of that 210 halves. But look at that, it gives you a place to re-engage as it fails to follow through on that 210 half and pushing even lower now. Oh boy, here we go. What else is pulling back? I got Alphabet, Softy, and Amazon pulling back here as well. Apple, not just yet. So Apple, we saw that that was not really doing too much yesterday, but holding its own today as of right now on the day. So let's take a quick look at some of the other constituents. We got to take a look at Meta and Berkshire as well. Let's take a look at AVGO as well when it comes to some of these market leaders. So let's take a quick look at Meta. Meta already on the pullback. You can see that it's kind of broken its accelerated trend right there as well. At that, what was this? This was at that 591, high of 593, and we're trading at 589, 590s as of right now here on Meta. Let's take a quick look at AVGO as well. AVGO sideways right now. Berkshire had quite a strong day yesterday, again, with the rest of the market. You can see, look at that, that's hella strong on the day, but we come right into yesterday's opening range off of today's open. Strong Quadunk, VWAP sellers all day, every day here on Berkshire. Ooh. You can see every little pop that's attempting to push past this VWAP, or if you like prices, 463.70s can't really get past it. We're making lower highs as we trade lower and lower below VWAP. Here, lower highs is what I mean. Bit of a shelf. Bit of a hold here. I guess what is that? 461 halves. We were consolidating underneath VWAP is what I'm trying to say here on Berkshire. So some of these constituents taking harder pullbacks than others. Let's see what this price action builds into, and do we get through that 21,200 here on the Nasdaq? If we do, oh boy, we're still going on this one. The trend has only decelerated, Joe.
Jeez, yeah, good luck there. Obi, we're back in some iBit here. But before we hand it over to me, we got a question in the chat from, I don't want to butcher your name, Biz Watch It. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. But hey, hi, Obi, I'm on QCOM long. Buy 100 at 185.05. Shall I hold it for a $600 loss? Still, please give me some suggestion. Thanks in advance. So what's your luck on the QCOM there? It was for you. That question was for you there. Okay, yeah, QCOM there.
Qualcomm. Let's take a quick look at Qualcomm. They did report earnings last night, so
they did.
Got to keep that on. Got to keep that on watch. Right there. So
and they're in at 185.05 apparently.
They're in long or short?
Yeah, they're long at 185.05.
Oh boy, we are trading at 170.340. So I don't know what type of risk parameters that you're using, but that's about 10 points out of the money there. So we did flush We did flush aggressively off of the open. You can see that earnings reaction didn't really hold. We couldn't really get. I was actually looking for a long on this name, so the idea definitely was there, but the price action definitely wasn't, and nor is the chart as we break below this consolidation low, both from yesterday's earnings reaction and today's pre-market levels as well. You can see trend into the open. And you're holding VWAP as well, right? So that's something you definitely have to keep in mind. Look, I'll put on the anchored as well so we can get a better look at this price action right here. So anchored to the event right there, we are trading. So look, we attempted to push, even in today's pre-market, we attempted to push that anchored VWAP and we cannot get past it. And then we claim today's intraday VWAP as well. And that's where sellers were in the pre-market. That's where sellers were aggressive off of the open, extending lower off of that VWAP there. So I did have Qualcomm on my watch list this morning, but it did not do what I was looking for, which was maybe a claim of VWAP, maybe a claim of some of these pre-market support levels, and it did none of that. So I was like, all right, the long. I only had the idea to get long this name, and that none of that action really showed itself. So I was like, all right, well, I'm going to take that off of my list, off the table for me. But if you were a little bit more nimble and you were like, all right, well, what do we do with some of these pre-market levels, and what do we do with some of these earnings reference levels and indicators that come off of earnings, like anchored VWAP there? We're trading well below it. We've held as a resistance. We've broken down any sort of support that we've attempted to claim post earnings reaction as well, and now we're extending off of VWAP. So again, looking very weak as well, dwindling volume on the day as well, doing relative volume of about 7 to 8 times on Qualcomm. So that's the look there on Qualcomm. Now that's just my perspective. I told you what I had planned on it, and it didn't really do what I was looking for. Oh my God, look at this softy. Look at that beautiful reversion.
Oh, wow.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Next trade is what I'm looking for there. Softy, great reversion, but that's fine. We can't catch them all. But we are in a bit of this Google. Let's see if this Google reverts to VWAP there. Amazon already doing it well before others. Softy following in here. Alphabet coming in at third place. Let's see if Tesla and Apple can follow along. Again, looking at some of these Mag 7s, NVIDIA looking hella strong as well. NVIDIA holding itself. Right here, look at that consolidation above VWAP, price compression happening on what some would call a bit of a flag action here in the upper quartile of this action off of these lows from the pre-market. 144 halves holding quite well for a push all the way up to 148.75's day high as of right now. VWAP sitting at 147.64, not really doing too much relative volume on the day. It's done about 102 million yesterday. Yesterday was quite aggressive. What was the volume on this ticker yesterday? Let me just take a quick look at that right now. So yeah, yesterday 242 million shares traded on the NVDA. So some strong volume there on some of these tickers off the election. There is a lick grab of 6,000 on the ES. Here we go. Is that information we could be using to get a little more aggressive on these reversions? Let's see if the Nasdaq follows through, Joe.
Yeah, that's a beautiful look. And someone in the chat asked us where they were talking about coin. IK, I know you were talking about coin and how you had some calls, and you're like, I wish I held them a little bit longer. But I mean, if you sold them today, you're still sitting on a pretty penny. So good luck there. Up over 30% since the election. So this thing has been absolutely monstrous. Put in some crazy days. Now up over around 30% in the past couple of days from this gap up session. But now, before, I mean, this thing IPO'd at a pretty hefty price. I'm going to pull up the IPO price. So if you bought that IPO, I'm sorry for you. But from a swing standpoint, IK, very, very nice look. But KGP, I am going to answer your question right after we get back from Adara.
We've got IWM here, actually green on the day. We have seen lower highs and higher lows. Still, though, with that now 2-day pre-market resistance around 239s for that Russell 2000. Today, we're not going to look as much as pure small caps. We don't have as many running, but we're going to take a look at smaller caps, all in that earnings space. So we do have Dutch Bros here, BROS, up about 35% with a market cap just over $5 billion and 11.3% short float. They did beat on earnings and raising their guidance for BROS Next up, we have UAA. This is Under Armour, up about 31% today, with a market cap of around $2.1 billion and a short float of 15.3%. They did beat here in earnings per share and sales, and they also raised their fiscal 2025 adjusted EPS guidance, but it's worth noting they actually do expect a decline here year over year on their revenue at low double-digit percentage rates, and they actually see a 14 to 16% decline in North America revenue. So not a great report, but UAA still to the upside. You can also trade Under Armour as UA, different classes of shares like Google and Google. Next up, we have Aurinia Pharmaceuticals, AUPH. This one up about 15% near day's highs. A bit of a smaller market cap here, just over $1 billion. They did beat on earnings per share and sales here. So AUPH, one of 3 smaller cap earnings plays on watch.
Wow. Yeah. As always, I always thank you, Adaria. Sorry, Obi, we'll send it to you right after I answer this question from KGP. So for options at a later date, do you use good till day order or which other order type? I usually go good till cancel. And especially with your stop losses, you want to have good until cancel, because then if you only have good till day, then at the end of the day, the order obviously doesn't exist anymore. So you want to go good till cancel, and I'll use this for my credit spreads. Even on the fills, I'll wait for a specific price, good till cancel on the buy order, and then on the stop order as well is GTC, good till cancel. And before we head it off to Obi, absolutely coin is absolutely monstrous. IK, I know that's probably a tough one, but you did really good on that trade, so congratulations to you. And we continue to climb higher, my friend. What are you cooking up over there?
Yeah, you gotta watch for those good till cancels. But this Google kind of looking like I gotta stop out of that one. We ain't good, but we still good on this one on Google, holding that 179 halves as of right now. So I think I'm gonna piece out of that one. Market's kind of turning a little bit here as well. That's an aggressive bid, pulling back up on that Google. Again, I don't necessarily have to be involved. I'm not seeing what I want to see. So I'm going to stay a little bit nimble with this one here as of right now. IONQ still holding some of those highs there. So I've got to pack my patience for that one. Shout out to Sharif. Let's see what that IONQ will have in store for us. But we are starting to consolidate a little bit sideways here. So that's interesting for sure here on IONQ. Let's see what else. SPY puts max it. We're pulling back saying Kenny D. All right, let's see. Spider still holding 20 pennies within its high. So I don't know. The arachnid is very, very strong today, climbing up that spout. We saw that climb coming in from mid to end of day yesterday, or actually from the beginning of the day. That opening range low catches a bid, makes a higher low, and continues coming into today for that grind up to the upside. Gotta watch out for those grinds, man. That's what I'm realizing. When the price action is grinding, you got to be wary in terms of fighting that trend, especially when it's grinding, because it could just keep on grinding until it hits your stop, or you get liquidated, or kind of pushes your pain point in terms of risk there. 22 is holding here on IONQ. You can see that little bit of a pullback in, but sideways consolidation. Let's see if we can get anything on the break of this consolidation, but that EV is looking, I liked it up here, didn't really get involved, but if we can get something really close, some distinct action near these highs that I can get involved in for a pullback into VWAP, maybe we'll see. That bid definitely has dissipated, but not really broken trend, so I'm going to stay patient for that one. Market still holding below that 21,200 and underneath that 6,000 here on the ES as of right now. So that's all I got on watch. Nothing too crazy, man. What I'm realizing as of late is that if I just have a few names on watch, I got a couple of strategies, a couple of playbook strategies. If I only wait for those, and sure, we can dabble in some other things here and there, but not really putting on any significant size on those shots, but really kind of swinging for it when our setup kind of shows up, and it shows up as a B plus or an A plus setup. There is what I am trying to work on as of right now in my trading journey. So let's see. Not really seeing anything that's really worth swinging hard at as of right now. But if some of these things start to revert, start to pull back aggressively, maybe we find something that we can risk off of. But as of right now, nothing too crazy. Let us know in the chat. Have you guys had any A plus setups show up today for your playbook? I want to know. I want to know what other people are trading, how you're trading it. Do you guys take the opening range breaks? Do you guys take a trend breaks? Do you guys like to fade strong momentum? You guys like to get with the trend? What is your playbook? I want to know in the chat, and we can talk about some different strategies that potentially different players have. And again, you can have there's 100 different ways to trade. A few of them might be profitable, but again, it's always interesting to listen and learn from other participants to see how they're thinking and how they're trading there. Elon saying FSLR at the open, A+ at the open. Okay, all right, yeah. Should let me know what your A+ setups are. I definitely want to see FSLRs. We can potentially reverse engineer some of this stuff here. So FSLR off of the open. Oh boy. Okay, so are you looking at that strong wick of this pre-market session, or prior day's opening range highs, or after hour lows? What makes this an A+ for you? Is it that happening plus the VWAP hold plus the opening range high, pre-market high break for the long through 195 into 200? I have no idea, but let me know, Elon, to see if this. I want to know what makes this an A+ for you on First Solar, but strong action nonetheless on First Solar, breaking past prior day's highs. We did get a bit of a sell-off yesterday on a lot of these solar names, kind of gapping down off of the election result there, and now we're catching a little bit of a reversion on a multi-day frame here, pulling back up into the 200 on First Solar. So I'll be looking for that on in the chat there, Elon. All right, so we got another one here. Ruchid saying short Carvana. Let's see what Carvana is up to here. Carvana, oh boy, all right, so a little bit of a trend break there, pulling back into VWAP, but pretty much sideways there as it enters back into the opening range, so nothing too crazy I'm seeing here. But again, I don't know how you're trading it, but if this is an A+ for you, let me know what makes it an A+ for you, what makes it an outlier opportunity that you want to put risk on for. That's what I want to hear. Lexter talking about Obi, can you take a look at Zeta? 2 days ago, went up with a lot of volume in less than 15 minutes, 60% drop. Today is the same pattern. How is it even legal to manipulate a stock? Oh, don't get me started about spoofy men and stocks getting cornered and manipulated. It happens across the board. Here's the thing. Here's how I think about it. You can sit there and be like, oh, that's not fair. That shouldn't happen. But it's a mechanic that occurs in the game. So you just have to get good. That's all I'm going to say about that one there. It's part of the game. So let's take a look at that one. XTIA, right? XTIA. Yeah, oh boy, that's beautiful right there. Look at that 10 penny pop up into 10 pennies, and it seems like that's the resistance. And again, apparently, I guess there's some selling going on there. Let's take a quick look at the historical on this one as well. Okay, that looks about interesting right there. So this thing has been quadunking on the larger time frame. A bit of a split action there too. Wow, look at that. That bar don't end. 518. We're trading at 5 pennies. Okay, all right. I see what you're doing here. But yeah, no, nothing crazy. It's done a lot of volume today. 303 million shares traded at 5 pennies. So maybe not a lot of dollar volume, but definitely doing some volume on the day here on this name. Look at that relative volume as well. 3 times as much here. But yeah, again, stocks get manipulated all the time. Again, you think that tickers like the Mag 7 can't happen on the Mag 7? Of course it happens. It happens on a daily basis, in my opinion. So again, it's a PvP game. You just have to kind of go with the flow and see what opportunities best cater to your style of trading and your personality as well when you're building that playbook. But something like that, absolutely interesting. As again, it pulls up aggressively into a level where we've seen sellers before over the past couple of days. We do that again today, and guess where that selling comes in again? Right at that 10 penny mark. Now, if that 10 penny broke out, maybe that's a different trade, but we held that level as a resistance there on that ticker. So good to see that as well. Red Plasma saying Obi is definitely a gamer. Yes, sir. Playing the most ranked game in the world right now, or trying to learn on these markets. So yeah, definitely gaming. Do you game?
I used to be a heavy gamer. I was a big Madden NHL guy, and then Call of Duty.
Nice.
So You know what? I was thinking about that last night. I was like, do I pick up Call of Duty again? Just because it's always good to be playing video games. Because I'm not saying that this is a video game, but it keeps you fresh and sharp. But yeah, I used to be massive Madden, NHL, and Call of Duty were my go-tos. And I haven't played since I started this trading journey. I said, you know what I said, Obi? I said I was either going to continue gaming Warzone with the boys, or I'm going to take up stock trading. And then with that, I got to give up something. And with that something was gaming. But I'm thinking about getting in to a little bit more gaming because I like to, hey, it was fun, man. There's nothing like staying up till 2, 3 in the morning with the boys, running some squads and playing some Warzone and other types of games. So those were really good times. A lot of people in the chat, Obi, were mentioning Boeing. And yeah, it's continuing to soar higher, up 3.38% on the day. And it's starting to pull back a little bit, but I think this thing can continue to crawl a little bit higher. We mentioned it before. We're still in this zone here. If I'm going to look to long, and I want to see some conviction break through this zone, and then we can continue that move to the northeast side there, guys. But it's time for an ad read, I believe. So, okay. We still got a little bit of all right, so we got a little bit of time. Miguel Lopez, Joe, Miguel Lopez, I don't understand why people would buy contracts on earnings week where the IV is super elevated. You can buy contracts the following week at a much lower IV. That is absolutely fantastic and valid point because you don't want to buy these contracts when IV is elevated. Those premiums are increased, and then as implied volatility starts to dwindle day after day, or as Miguel mentioned, a week later, those values are significantly less, and therefore the price movement is going to dwindle, all right? So all right, guys, it's time for the ad read, Trade the Pool. Trade the Pool allows traders like you to get evaluated and trade real shares using the company's capital with no PDT rule holding you back. That's a real edge in trading, Obi. Here's the exciting part. Trade the Pool has just launched a limited edition program for stock traders. For a one-time fee of just $97, you'll receive $20,000 in buying power. All you need to do is reach the profit goals. The best part yet? This limited edition program now has a reduced profit goal and fewer minimum trades required to reach the funded phase. Plus, the profit split is upgraded. Keep 70% of the profits. Don't miss the chance to explore this limited offer. Join now for free. The link is in the description. Scan the QR code, folks. The link is in the description. Trade the Pool. You guys will have a fantastic time. It's a challenge. Get into that. Trade the Pool is the way to go to get funded, my friend. What are you cooking up over there?
Yes, sir. Nothing much. Just watching this action here on Google as it continues to tick back up. I guess I did not get. I thought I already got out of this one. I did not necessarily get out. But it is pretty much relatively close to my stop there, so I'm going to just let it kind of deal with itself. Let's see if we make some lower highs here. We are attempting to push that 21,200 once again, and we are trading above 6,000 on the ES as well. So going to keep some of these on watch. Again, always feel free to mention any tickers that we might be missing in the chat, and we will take a look at them. And I see that some people were asking. We were talking about gaming, and I think Mike G. Saying you're an obvious gamer with that language. What is your favorite game, man? I haven't. I guess you're right. After we can't be staying up till 2 a.m. anymore especially on the weekdays when you're trading actively and again, like I said, playing one of the more, I would say one of the more higher ranked games in the world again. Against some very, very strong players.
There's no beginner mode in the game.
There's no beginner mode. I mean, there's. We were talking to Wayne about this yesterday. There's different elos that you can put yourself in to give yourself a little bit more of an advantage. There are less competitive arenas, right? There isn't a ranked matching system when it comes to the markets. You get to pick your arena. You get to pick your battlefield and what you play on. As well, but favorite game, man, I like Rocket League. I haven't played Rocket League in the longest time, but I like Dragon Age as well. Dragon Age, I like MMORPGs. When it comes to FPS, Destiny 1 was sick. Destiny 2, I like as well.
What is Rocket League?
Rocket League, it's like car soccer. It's like soccer where
Rocket League?
your cars have.
Guys, say you know Rocket League?
Yeah,
of
Sean
course
knows
he
Rocket
said.
League.
Like, come on, no, not of course he said.
Yeah,
no,
come on, where you
of
been?
course,
Where you been?
come on. Come on.
Ramin Singh, her 11-year-old
I got the
sister
come on,
plays
Joe.
Rocket League. Come on.
Like, come on. That's not a come on.
Why I
Where's
love
the fail stamp there?
Come on.
Come on.
Yeah, no, Rocket League's pretty dope. The skill ceiling's pretty high, and I like it because, again, it reminds me of the time you put in is kind of what you get out of the game. The skill level. There you go. That's beautiful right there. Thank you for pulling that up. Let's go. Look at that flip reset off the wall. Flip reset off the wall.
What a
Let's
goal.
go.
Let's
That's
go.
beautiful.
All
Look
right.
at that. Some
Like,
aerials coming in.
Rocket
So
League.
that definitely takes a lot of
Insane.
practice and skill that comes in. You have to get better at it by putting in the reps and looking for ways to get better as well. Doing a lot of training and practice. That's why I kind of like it. But again, time intensive indeed if you do want to get better at that game. But you know what? We don't have to continue playing till 2, 3 a.m. at night. You can just schedule in like 30 minutes a day for a little bit of reps, right? So I think that's what I was doing. Again, as of late, haven't been really gaming too much there. But yeah, no, I like MMORPGs. I like fast-paced first-person shooters as well. And then Rocket League, pretty fast-paced as well.
Were you a PUBG guy or a Call of Duty guy?
I've played both games. I never really got into either of them that much, but you know, they're solid games. I remember Fortnite I played for like a little bit.
Yeah, Fortnite was
in the early days. What else have I played? I think as of recent, I haven't really hopped on too much there. But yeah, nothing too crazy. Phantom's asking me what my rank is. What my rank in Rocket League? I think I'm diamond, maybe diamond 1 or 2, if I remember correctly. And 2s, I like playing doubles. 3s is slightly different mechanics for rotation. Different game not really game mechanics, but you know, I would say rotational mechanics and how you play the game slightly different. Anyways, back to trading. Let's get back to these market mechanics and see how this price action is treating us as of right now. So Google came right back in. So we made a lower high just underneath that 179.80s, and we're pulling back in. Let's see, 21,200 here on the NASDAQ still hasn't broken with any distinction, and we're still watching the 6,000 mark. IONQ hasn't really gone anywhere right there. Bears versus Bulls, shout out. I made it to platinum, but that's it. That's solid, man. Plat is sick. I'll tell you, I took the longest time to get out of bronze, and then once I got out of bronze, it was silver, gold. Gold took a while. Plat takes a little bit, and then plat to diamond obviously takes a little bit as well. And then there's obviously champ, grand champ, and supersonic legend.
Hey, supersonic legend.
Ranks.
All right, yeah. So yeah.
What are the I wonder if there's rankings in the market. I wonder if there's anybody. I think there's places like I think K Info that does verified trader rankings and stuff. I don't know if they have like a ranking or an ELO system there. But that would be interesting.
Yeah, no, there's an intraday ranking system. I'm pretty sure you can find somewhere. And I remember Ducks. I was watching. Ducks.
You see Ducks' trade on DJT yesterday?
No.
Oh boy.
But I know he has like one of the
Definitely
largest intraday trades of all time. He made like $2 million net or something like that on a single intraday trade. That's
what he made on DJT yesterday.
Did he? Yeah. So there you go, Ducks. That guy's absolutely.
I've learned a lot from I guess his content and his material as well. Solid trader. Again, avid gamer as well. Very avid gamer.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, and that's a good that you mentioned that. I think it's really important. I think I'm gonna dive into it. Maybe we'll message the boys this weekend and we'll get some Call of Duty running and run some missions because I know those were always good times. But as of right now, Obi, we're short some. Exactly. Yeah. Ram said that my girlfriend's gonna be mad that I'm gonna be gaming all weekend. But hey.
Just game with her. You got to get her into it.
She can watch.
Oh, she can watch.
She can watch.
you're like, I'm not getting in the lobby with any noobs.
Yeah, I'm here to win. I play to win. So she sit on the sidelines for that. Maybe we'll hand the control over once we're a little bit tired and bored. So.
Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, but they're all older.
You know when you're oh, so maybe you were on the end of this.
Yeah.
I had younger siblings and they were like, oh, I want to play too. I would just give them an unplugged controller, just be like, here you go.
Yeah, that's what we did with the little kid, right? You play NHL with the cousins and give the unplugged controller. Yeah, that's fantastic. But yeah, we're short some BA. I got a really tight stop here at 152.61s. If we break that to the top side, then I'm out. But I'm gonna look for a little bit of a pullback. I don't expect too much of a move here on this one. So again, really tight stop, looking for around 152s. And if it goes, it doesn't. I mean, if it goes, it goes, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. So Kyle Burdett, hey Fabian, where's the games thing like sports? Not too sure what you mean by that, my friend, but thank you for the $2 super chat. We are now 7 out of 30. So guys, keep sending in those super chats because we want to see Obi on the afternoon rundown.
We're 7 out of 30.
So we're almost there. We got an hour left, but we're going to see you on the afternoon show with Adara and Sean. So good luck there. And Adara, I didn't forget you this time, so please forgive me on that one. So I can't forget because he's always giving me hot picks in the morning when we see each other in the kitchen. So good luck there. Will Tesla break 300? That's a great question. Let's take a look at it. I don't have my eyes on it. We have Microsoft pulling a little bit, still up about 1% on the day, and Apple up about 2% as well too. So let's take a look at Tesla and see what the Cybertruck has been up to, as Sharif likes to refer to. So yeah, I mean, we're creeping there, 289s, just under 299, and I think that this can be the potential run where we do go and test that 300 because I know my boy Danny Ives over at Woodbush is very rarely wrong. Yeah, Kyle. Yeah, okay, Kyle. So you gotta, I'm telling you, you gotta read them first.
Kyle. I mean, you can
know
read
what I mean? Where, yeah. So you gotta read them before you actually say it on air. So thank you, Kyle, for the $5 super chat. I will post a like on that one, but that's as far as I can go.
No, that's definitely readable, dude. What do you mean?
Definitely. Okay, read it. So, Joe, I saw some videos where the partners watch while the guys games. Okay, all right. So, yeah, I guess I misread that wrong. So that's not too bad. But anyways, yeah, Obi, I'm not going to say too much more about that. But guys, we're over here looking at Tesla.
What's the next trade?
What is the next trade? And is it a Tesla reversion? I don't know. But I'm looking for the break of 300.
Accumulating into it. If you have inventory from before, it's nice. But
we'll wait. We're gonna wait for some volume to step in there. I do think we go and break it. But as of right now, we're gonna keep our eye on BA because we like it for a little bit of a pullback here. So we're having to hold on to this position as it slowly starts to break down. No, Elon, I am short BA. Wow. Good luck. I'm going to need it. Yeah, Kyle, get my mind out of the game. Yeah, I know, right? So, yeah, guys, that's it. That's the look. We're going to hold on to this BA. If we get stopped out, we got stopped out. What are you cooking up there, my guy?
I see Thomas Johnson asking, Obi, do you think PLTR is a short into 200 on the bounce reclaim? I'm sorry, what? Short into 20, maybe you mean? On the bounce to reclaim 55, then 56. Oh, you mean into 200 EMA? I think that's what you might mean right there. Okay, so yeah, let's take a quick look at that one. You know what? Google is consolidating a little too much sideways here, so I'm just going to get out of that one right there. Thank you. Come again. Sideways consolidation, not really what I'm looking for. I was looking for the pullback into VWAP right there. Market's holding strong as well, so I'm gonna just get out of that one. That's not really. I guess you time out of the trade as well. That's technically a stop. That's a reason to stop as well. And funny enough, we bid back, we sell off a little bit there as soon as I get out. So that's perfectly fine. Next trade, but PLTR, let's take a look at that one on the 5-minute right here. So 200 moving average, eh? Okay, so let's, I don't have it up here. You know what? I'll pull it up for you on my own chart right after we come back from Madera with crypto.
Another really strong bullish volume candle here for Ethereum. We usually talk about Bitcoin in the morning, so I like to talk about a different crypto name when we go over this in the midday. And Ethereum, as I mentioned yesterday, was in a bit of a bear flag that was really, I guess, solidified with that move down on Black Monday, August 5th. But now here, as I said yesterday, it'd be nice to see us make another higher high. And now we have not only above this other previous high, but we also eclipsed this high from mid to late October. So great look here for ETH. We've taken out basically all of these higher highs here and higher lows starting here at September 6th when we had a bit of an uptrend. So this is a really good look here for ETH. Currently running into, though, a bit of previous support going back to May 15th. So maybe a bit of a critical area for ETH as it heads into 2890s. So 2,890 against the USD. 3,000, of course, going to be a key level, but it'll be also interesting to see what we do with this other previous area of support that we ran into in late May and then again in early July, 2930. Either way, it looks like ETH with these two strong volume candles, two of the strongest it's had in months, continuing to push to the upside. Definitely not as strong as Bitcoin in terms of where it is. Bitcoin, we did have, of course, cracking into new all-time highs even today, whereas ETH is a little bit more stagnant, definitely below some of those highs. But here are just a few areas that I think we might need to clear here. We want to see more upside for ETH, guys.
All right, thank you, Adara. So we're gonna cover this Palantir here. So I did pull up this Palantir. Thank you for that. Thank you for that suggestion. It was Thomas Johnson. Again, guys, we're covering some of these tickers that you guys want us to look at. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel there, and so we can continue providing you with that look and that valuable information and entertainment when it comes to the stock market right here. So 5-minute chart, you said, and you want to see on the 200 period right here. Apparently, okay. So this is not. You know what? We can add this EMAs here. Boom. Right there. Let me just add that on. Let's make it into a 200 because I think that's what you're asking for. So 200 EMA right here. Boom. On the 5-minute chart. So what were you asking again on the 5-minute chart? Do you think PLTR is a short into the 200 on and then bounce to reclaim 55 then 56? I have no idea what the price is going to do. I have no idea what this chart's going to do. But here's the thing. Here's what it's showing us. Is what I can potentially talk about there is that we did kind of attempt to push past yesterday's high. Look at that strong close, man. That PLTR closed hella strong on the day at high a day yesterday. We attempt to continue. Look at that flat consolidation in the after hours as well. We attempt to continue right off of the open with that strong volume, and we basically fail to follow through. Not only do we fail to follow through, we pull back into this consolidation, we break through that. We pull back into this consolidation from earlier in the pre-market, we break through that. And now we're just trading sideways, consolidating underneath what seems to be, that looks like VWAP right there, man. So let's put VWAP on here as well, real quick. So right there, so VWAP, oh boy, I don't like the VWAP with the band multipliers right there as well. So let's, where do I, you know what? 1 second. No, I think that's fine. Yeah, okay, so we took off the bands there. So take off the EMA as well. You look at that, VWAP. So we attempt to break past yesterday's highs. We sell off. We get aggressively sold off. Look at that volume expanding as we sell off, and it starts to dissipate as we start to find a base in and around yesterday's consolidation levels. You can see that right there. A little bit of a bid coming in after or going into the close, happening at 5370s right there. And take a look at where the bid was found today, 5370s. Where that aggressive bid came in going into the end of the day there. So that's what the chart has been showing us today, consolidating underneath VWAP. VWAP sellers on the day apparently a little bit more dominant than some of the buyers that showed up into the close from yesterday is the look that I have on PLTR. What is the ticker going to do going forward? I have no idea.
We have no idea. But Obi, what an idea I do have of is we have 3,600 people watching and only 465 likes. Come on.
You got to pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers.
Exactly. Come on. Let's get those likes up, guys. We've been talking all the stocks that you mentioned in the chat. We've been talking gaming. We've been talking about what to be in and what not to be in. So all you can do is just hit that like and hit that subscribe, please and thank you. Much appreciated, guys. So hit that like and subscribe. Obi, I'm in this BA trade. We'll look at this BA trade before we dive back into the lesson for a couple of minutes, my friend. But as you can see, we're slowly taking some pieces out. So Elon, in the chat, you know I shorted that for a specific reason. So we're gonna be out about 90% of this position shortly. I took a little bit more off because I am going to dive right back in to the lesson of the day for you guys, because it is Introduction to Options. And there goes BA a little bit more, so we're going to hold off a little bit more, and boom, we're going to be all out here shortly. Yeah, boom. Okay, yeah, we're all out. We'll go over the BA trade. Elon, I said, you wouldn't. But hey, we picked that top really nicely and got that trade. But guys, let's dive into this lesson a little bit more, because there's a lot to go through and we want to finish this off quick, all right? So exercise and assignment. So when you have the rights to a contract, that's when you exercise that contract, all right? So when you exercise an option, this implies you bought a call or a put that gives you the right to allocate the underlying asset at your fixed strike price, okay? Either when this is in the money, all right? So an obligation is when you short options, all right? And when you have an obligation, this is when you risk assignment. So being assigned on your short option position, that implies you sold a call or a put and the option expired more than 0.01 cents in the money. This requires you to return X amount of shares or X from the amount of contracts you bought to the opposite party. So the person who was long those options, they paid you to hold on to those options when you shorted it, and then now you have to return that money at more value when you get assigned. And wow, Boeing is absolutely tanking to the downside. We punched out of there a little bit early, but that's okay. We'll talk a little bit more about that shortly, because I don't know why that did that. So, all right, guys. So, example. Stock XYZ is trading at 200 and you bought the 190 call. You have the right to exercise your call option and allocate stock XYZ at $190 when it's trading at $200, all right? So that's an example of exercising. So stock XYZ is trading at $150 at the time of expiry and you sold the 140 call. You are now obligated to sell those shares to the opposite party at a price of $150, all right? So you lost on that one. You rarely have to exercise your options just before the close. Just close the position before expiry so you don't have to exercise those positions, all right? You want to close those. You don't want to own those shares outright, guys, all right? So to avoid assignment as well, the exact same thing. To avoid assignment, close the position before it expires in the money, okay? So now we're going to get onto some fancy terms, intrinsic and extrinsic value. These are really important. And Hal R, I mentioned this to Hal R earlier in the day. He asked me what I would buy if I'm going long options, and this is what we'll get into a little bit. So the true value of trading options come from being able to trade shares at the option strike price, not what is currently trading at, okay? So keep that in mind. This is where intrinsic and extrinsic value come into play. So intrinsic value is equals when you buy an options contract for $5, the same contract is now trading at $15. The contract has $10 of intrinsic value. It's that simple. We're not going to complicate it. Simple maths, all right? So moving forward, extrinsic value equals time value. I always talk about time value. If you buy the $100 call for $2 and the underlying is trading at $100, this contract is only only has $200 of extrinsic value and holds no intrinsic value, okay? So that's all it is. All this has is time value when you buy at the money or out the money. It's the anticipation that the contract and the underlying asset will appreciate and put that moneyness where you have intrinsic value and that you are in the money on those contracts as well too, all right? So calculating intrinsic value, simple. Option strike price minus current market price equals intrinsic value. Calculating extrinsic value. Market price minus intrinsic value equals extrinsic value. So write these calculations down, even though you don't need to know them. When you look at the contract, you'll know automatically, like, hey, this only holds extrinsic value, or hey, this has some intrinsic value too, because it is in the money, all right? So putting it all together, guys, we're almost done. Calls and puts are a versatile tool that require less capital. That's why people like to trade them. You don't need to exercise your options. Close before possibility of assignment, all right? Or they exercise as well, as I mentioned. And extrinsic and intrinsic value give options their value, all right? So that's the lesson of the day. Hopefully you guys learned something on that. And guys, I got out of Boeing way too early. If we can pull up my chart, yeah. That's why I shorted it. We double topped here, so I took that short on BA and I got out a little bit too early. But guys, if you have any questions about options, put them in the chat. Make sure you throw them in the chat, tag me in them so we can know. But Obi, what are you cooking up over there, my friend?
Nothing much, man. I'm continuing to watch these markets are taking a little bit of a pullback, but I want to go back to your trade there. That's a solid entry there.
Yep.
And yeah, it seems like you covered a little too aggressively too fast. So I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
What is your reason to buy there? What is your reason to cover?
To cover those?
Yes.
Because I thought we were going to bounce. You see this little pivot here that formed
Because
this
you
double
thought we
top?
were going to bounce.
Yeah, I thought. So the anticipation is wrong. I know I was wrong. I thought we were going to bounce. We did not. We continued to sell, especially when I had more conviction and confirmation, Obi, on this double top after we failed to make a new high here, my friend.
So if you were to take that trade again, what would you do? What would you change differently about those outs?
I would not take as many outs.
Okay, so in terms of you're saying you anticipated the bounce, that's why you got out.
Yep.
So what do you want to see for you to actually get out? What would the bounce look like to you?
So what I would want to see is a test, a little bit of strong, some tape action, a lot of orders hitting the ask, and then volume stepping in, which I thought it was here and here. So I'm like, okay, let's see if we test this high again, which I thought it was going to do, but instead it just capitulated and moved to the downside.
Did it ever break prior bar high?
Did it ever break prior bar high? No, it did not. So that's a very good point. Hey.
It's something to consider.
Very much something to consider. Yeah. So there you go. Now I can make that trade much better than what it is.
It's a clean entry. You had the entry that was solid.
We had the entry because you're a reversion man, so you know that we like those type of entries.
Of course.
So, all right, we're going to come back. We're going to talk some more analysis. We're going to dive into our trades and why we did what with me and Obi, but we're going to go right to Adara first.
Yes, sir.
Tesla just had a drop here with a bit of an increase in volume. It's our largest volume candle basically since that morning session. I'm seeing this tweet here on Twitter. This is what I'm seeing, and I'm going to quote this tweet. A little birdie told us that Tesla has definitely scrapped its $25,000 EV and replaced it with a robotaxi. Citing TC. I was not able to find out who or what TC is, but either way, this headline circulating here, getting some views, so just be aware here. TSLA, according to this very unsubstantiated Twitter quote, could be scrapping its $25,000 EV to get a bit of a volume spike to the downside on that tweet. If I see anything else on this, including who started this rumor, I will let you know.
I pity the fool that doesn't hit the like and subscribe button.
Doing a good job on the likes, though. What were we at? 400 and something? Now at 667 with 3,500 of you guys watching. Come on, let's get that to 1,000, guys. We need 1,000 likes. That's 1/3, a little bit less than what people are watching. So come on, keep on hitting that like and subscribe, my friend. What are you cooking up? What trades do you got going on?
I got no trades on the board as of right now. I am observing this market take a little bit of a pullback there. Again, I think Boeing was a great trade to take on that pullback there. I'm watching some of these other names as well. Apple finally taking a bit of a breather, so I have that on watch. We did break this short-term trend there. This trend that we had off of the break of this opening range high. Wow, what an open on Apple! I'm just noticing that's a 3-minute candle right here. The first 3-minute candle. Oh boy, look at that range. The low at 224 halves, and the high at 226 halves. So a 2-point range on the first initial candle on Apple. That is aggressive. That's an aggressive bid. And then we stepped up on top of it. So opening range highs, again, sitting at that 226 halves. So let's see. We're only about 40 pennies away from that 226 halves. So if we are to pull back, is that bid going to catch at 226 halves? Has that resistance now turned into support? We will only find out if and when price gets back there. Market's on a little bit of a pullback. I have nothing else really on watch other than Tesla. Take a look at Tesla. Tesla did not break that 300. I'm sure there were a lot of players building into this for that anticipation for that 300. And take a look at this nice little grindy trend. That's absolutely beautiful. It's not very often that your trend line fits so nicely on choppy price action, right? But look at this, choppy price action, but those lows are incrementally higher. Sure, you have a little bit of a violation with a little bit of some wicks there, but overall, a nice steady grind up, choppy on the upside, but that support coming in very, very clean. And look at what happens as soon as that support breaks. That volume expansion coming in on the breakdown of that 228 area there, and a failure to follow through in towards that 229. That 229 definitely fell. I'm curious to know what the tape looked like on this push up, on this bid up into 299s, and the break of this right here, break of trend, that selling coming in very aggressively. And what did I say? I said that 226 area could be somewhere to watch the ticker as we started that consolidation base off of those 296s, my apologies, 296s, and that's where we catch a little bit of a bid. Sure, we dip all the way down to 295s and 33s. That might be a little bit of stop, a lick grab action there, stops getting taken out, and some aggressive selling maybe potentially coming in from players who are getting short on the break of that consolidation low as well. We're catching a little bit of a bid off of said level. Let's see what Tesla does going forward. Market's taking a little bit of a pullback, both off the 6,000 on the ES and the 21,200 on the NASDAQ here. I'm looking for other tickers that might be breaking their trend. IONQ not really doing any of that as of right now. That consolidation on 22 is hella strong. So again, don't want to be shorting a ticker or looking for that reversion on the ticker that's not really showing me what I'm looking for, right? Same thing happened here on Google. Google, I did get involved initially, but we go sideways for long enough. I'm timing out of the trade, being like, all right, well, the market's super strong. We're holding and consolidating underneath that 21,200. We're holding and consolidating as price floats above VWAP, floats over almost a point above VWAP. Now, I don't know how much percent ATR it's floating above VWAP, but let's take a quick look at that as Google's. Let me just quickly type like that. That's Google. Google's ATR is 3.94, so almost a 4-point ATR. So, but it's floating about a quarter ATR above its VWAP and consolidating sideways near that 180 high a day. So I don't necessarily want to stay involved with that one. And we'll I think the decision can be made above 180 or maybe below this 179.20 as of right now on the goggles there. But nothing else happening. ARM holding as well. TSM holding as well. Well, ARM had earnings. Intel holding its highs as well. SMCI with a little bit of a pullback. So let's take a look at that one real quick. See what SMCI has been up to right there as well. So SMCI, they had earnings yesterday or prior day yesterday, Tuesday evening. Day one was yesterday as it traded pretty much sideways, closing near its high of day there on SMCI. We get a bit of continuation with a VWAP hold coming off of the open. With that 25, remember that size getting taken out at that 25, about 2,000 lots. We can only get about 45 pennies above that 25 break when that comes in. Look at this aggressive selling coming in on the break of this 25, break back below this 25, and that selling coming in all the way down to VWAP right there. Only about 30 pennies away from VWAP is SMCI as of right now, with the market looking to take a bit of a breather. But I got nothing else going on. So let me know in the chat what you guys are up to. And yes, Bizwaj Ipta saying Uncle Powell is coming. Yeah, in about 45 minutes, in about 40 minutes. So again, we're consolidating sideways as the reversion man is, sorry? 150. All right, so you're going to have Sean and Neil coming on at 150, bringing you that FOMC report. And don't forget, the reversion man cometh at 2:30 as well. So we're going to be watching that. Some aggressive, strong action in the morning session.
Whoa, whoa, who was that? Hello. Oh, what are you doing, JP? What are you doing? What is he doing? 25?
Sorry, that's classified information.
Oh,
all right,
so he has the insider. 20. Okay, so let me ask you this, Obi.
Yes.
What do you think our guy JP is going to do? Pause, cut, or what?
I don't know. Nor do I care.
No, okay, I know you don't care, but
because I'm just going to play off the whatever
you
price.
All right, anyways, I'm going with a pause. I'm going with a pause.
To anchor to a buy.
I'm going with a pause. It doesn't. I'm not holding any bias. I'm going with a pause. All right. So guys, good luck there. 750 likes. We're almost there. 250 away. Grandma, I know you're watching. Hit that like, please, and thank you. We're gonna need that one for the guys because who knows? At 1,000 likes, Obi, who knows what's gonna happen? Maybe you're still going to be on the afternoon show regardless, 1,000 likes. So 1,000 likes, Obi's on the show, 3,500 watching. Come on, let's get to 1,000 likes, guys. Much need to continue.
The chat shouting out my phone cover. Yeah, I got. I mean, I don't know. I like my favorite color combination is red and black. That's all. That's what I got going on here.
What is that? A Samsung?
Why do you seem so disgusted? What is that, a Samsung? What do you got, Apple?
Yeah, I do actually.
The only thing of
Yeah,
Apple I
get some
have
now, man.
is the stock.
Yeah, you said
The only thing I have from Apple is the stock. You gotta. We were talking about this. Shout out to Wayne again. He was like, you got to get long cults, and Apple is definitely a cult. Some of the best longs in history have been cults,
so why don't you join the super cycle, upgrade to an iPhone 16,
Yeah, I don't.
and then add a little
Sorry,
to the...
I don't do that.
No? All right.
I don't want.
What is that, a Google phone though, for real, or...?
No, it's a S21 Ultra.
I'm sorry, I don't even know what that is. I don't even know what that is. But okay.
Things are making sense.
Things are making sense there. Guys, good times.
What is that?
Yeah. 800,
Have you seen the Samsung chart?
No. What is that, a Motorola? Yeah. What is that, a flip phone?
It's a flip phone?
Is it a calculator?
Listen, here's the thing. I do a lot of charting. I do a lot of charting on my phone.
Yeah.
I look at charts. I like a nice big screen.
Listen, if you were to turn those around and say which one is Obi's phone, you wouldn't know. Which one is Obi's phone, you don't know.
Maybe the one with all the cameras.
I'm going with the gray one. So, yeah, sure. There you go.
Look at that.
Okay. Galaxy, whatever he said there. We don't know what that is. So, anyways, back to reality. Enough of making fun of Obi's phone there. So, we're having a good time, guys. Absolutely. Yeah, the typewriter, they say. That's pretty much what it is. So, yeah, good stuff there, my friend. Sorry, continue what you were going on.
At least my products don't have planned obsolescence. So, that's something I definitely don't.
Okay.
No, I'm joking. They all have planned obsolescence.
Yeah. Anyways.
What's
See, look, there we go.
Look
Here,
at that.
text it. Obi's phone.
What that reminds me? That reminds me of the BlackBerry.
Yeah,
like remember the Black? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's Fabian's old phone right there.
Oh boy. Yeah, someone said, "Oh boy, you're in trouble." Oh boy, with the phone, the ancient phone. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So good stuff, guys.
Obi got the Casio 6G Ultra.
Yeah, bro. Whatever that means, man.
Android, I think is again. I might be a little bit of a fanboy, but you know what? I found more. I guess more leniency and customizability with my Samsung. I like to be a free man and not be really wear a collar with some of these Apple products and being kind of locked into their ecosystem. I don't do that. Again, PCMR. That's my I guess opinion. And these are definitely little PCs.
Yeah, pocket calculators.
Yeah.
Definitely a good way to go on that one there, my friend. Good times here. Guess what, Obi? Yeah, those at JP. Get Obi in on the conference call there with the calculator. Yeah. So, anyways, IBIT going to press for the higher day. We have.
Yes, recovery.
Bitcoin.
I like that.
Yes,
Ramin, what was that? Ramin?
How come I didn't hear that one there?
Oh, she had the keyboard.
Oh, the keyboard. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Oh, Ram, did the iPhone 16 come in yet? Do you have it or what?
Boy.
Your birthday was in mid-October. What are you talking about? 2 weeks. Yeah, exactly. So you should have had that a long time ago. Maybe Apple needs to get on the Samsung delivery speed, and then we can take it from there. So, my phone has. Yeah, we'll leave it on that. But guys, Bitcoin trading around 76,000 right now. Trading higher. So is IBIT. So we're just gonna look. I missed that train on IBIT, and BA is starting to slowly pull back, but we missed a good move on that one as well too. We have the Fed coming up in just a little over half an hour, 46 minutes to be exact. So we'll keep an eye on that with the overall market trading at 1.35%. That's the Qs. And SPY up only 0.64% on the session, while everybody else is trading higher. What do you got going on there, my guy?
Nothing. All that Apple talk has me interested in what Apple is doing right now. So I did pull up the ticker here. Again, holding underneath that 227, pretty much sideways as of right now. So Apple looking a little lackluster there in terms of price action. So we'll see if it can hold some of these highs there. But the thing is, the Nasdaq is hella strong as of right now. So some of these tickers may be poised to make some more highs into the close. I have no idea, but Apple definitely near its highs. And I do have some alerts here. So what are we trading against here on Apple? Okay, some prior earnings. Okay, oh boy, all right, I like that. Let's take a look at this chart right here and see where price is at relative to that earnings reaction we had a couple weeks ago, last week. You can see here, Thursday was October 31st. In the evening, Apple reported. You can see I have all these anchors on, higher time frame anchors coming in to some of these more recent prices here. But what I do have right here is the anchored from the current earnings. And look at that. We consolidate below, we consolidate above, and now we're holding that, breaking prior day's highs as well, pushing to the upside. And yes, somebody in the chat was like, yes, the only thing I like about Apple is the stock, and that is very much correct. I think that's the best thing they have kind of going for them there is the stock, and the stock is absolutely solid. Great company, regardless, right? You have a solid following. They make good money, and they come out with a product every 2 weeks, and their customers continue to buy their fresh products as well. So solid business model there. I do like the stock. What's going on, Adara?
Cellularity halted right now, so not happening as of right now, but Cellularity to the upside here by about 161%. This seems like a random volume spike here. 5 million shares in this last 15-minute candle. This morning, so around 8 a.m., they announced their earnings here, or announced that they're raising their guidance anyhow for fiscal 2024. Now seeing sales between 54 to 60 million versus the previous guidance of 50 million to 60 million. This isn't even a particularly small market cap, around $83 million market cap, float of around 11 million shares. 6.35% of that is going to be sold short, guys. CELU.
Thank you, Adara. That CELU halted up there, so it could be interesting. Let's see what happens with that one when it opens back up. I'm not really seeing too much else. We were talking about that Apple. Apple is kind of again. That was the candle open off of the earnings reaction right here. That's the price. Look at that. That's the earnings reaction candle right here. This is what we're looking at. The open of this candle is at 227.40, and guess what the high of today is? 227.49. So we're holding some of those reference levels from earnings as of right now. We've held that anchored VWAP as well as support in the pre-market session. Not only in the pre-market session, that bid shows up for the prior 2 days there as it consolidates above that anchored. And look at that opening drive, that buying pressure really coming in and showing itself off of a strong dip into prior day's consolidation lows there yesterday coming in, and that pre-market, that bid coming in once again, now breaking into prior day's high as well. Again, yesterday was elections day one in the market, and we saw a lot of these tickers were strong off of the open there and even in the pre-market, but Apple did not do much. Apple traded sideways, looking again a little lackluster relative to the rest of the tech names there, but it's catching some of that bid coming in today on Apple. So let's see if we can break some of those highs there. 227.40s was that opening that candle open. Today's day high is 227.49. So let's wait and watch for that to come in. Let me know in the chat, guys, what are you guys trading? Again, look at that strong pullback on the ES. What are some of these tickers that you are trading? Is there anything taking a little bit of a pullback? And while you guys do that, I'm going to run through what the volume leaders of the day today have been doing. So let's take a quick run through that. Some of these tickers, sure, we've already covered. NVIDIA trading sideways in its in the upper part of its range. PLTR, we were watching this one here. Let me throw that VWAP on there. We watched that reversion to VWAP right there. Sean was in this trade, I think, earlier on in the day. That reversion to VWAP, absolutely solid on Palantir. Doing some significant volume, coming in at 79 million shares traded, a little over 79 million. Tesla as well. Oh boy, that 300 failure to follow through. 299.75s are the high on Tesla. Aggressive pullback back into that 296 area we were talking about being that consolidation low. Potential area to look for that support as it was there coming off of the open there. SMCI as well. SMCI, oh boy, we pulled back into 24 halves, but we're reclaiming that 25 level here. DJT, oh boy, that is a beautiful backside. Look at that. Nice little flush off of elections day one. We ran up coming into it. We ran up for, what did I say, almost 4 or 5 weeks consistently coming up into this. And then we've been having a bit of a sell-off right here. You can see I already have my trend lines here. That clean sell-off right there trend. When that trend breaks, we get a little bit of that squeezy action there, and we get that lower high at that 55 mark for a continuation to the back down to some of these supports here. Day low sitting at 27.90 here on DJT. So lift as well. We traded this in the morning session. Absolutely beautiful continuation of that double beat on earnings right there, pushing past those pre-market highs and earnings reaction highs. Can't really get to 19. I thought this was going to get through 19. 1882 is the high of day on lift, and catching a little bit of a sell-off there coming in to the closing session as of right now. IONQ, no reversion just yet. We were looking for that pullback on this, but sideways chop as that bid dissipates on IONQ. So that trade was solid off of the open, but nothing crazy as of right now as it chops sideways. Intel sideways. Warner Brothers, they had earnings today as well. I forgot about this one. That opening drive does come in, but I don't know. RR is a bit skewed for me there. Let's take a look at it on the 3-minute. Okay, maybe a little bit better on the 3-minute for that VWAP hold and push. Now that's all I'm going to go through. Some of these other tickers a little bit dwindling in terms of volume right there. You can see nothing too crazy. Mara is a low holding VWAP, interestingly enough. What's up, Adara?
Right now here we have the weekly chart for the DXY ahead of what should be a very interesting FOMC meeting. This is the second FOMC meeting since in our rate cutting cycle. The first, of course, was in September where we actually got that kind of surprising 50 basis point cut. Now I want to pull up this weekly chart because it's pretty interesting here. We had 4 straight weeks of strong upside starting in October. Then last week we could have a bit of a doji candle. Another doji candle here. This one a bit more intense though on this weekly chart, going as high as 105.40 thanks to that push yesterday, and as low as 103.40. So we've got about a 2-point range here on that DXY on the week as we head into an expected 25 basis point cut. We're seeing some differences here in the odds. I mentioned earlier last week at one point there was 100% odds on the CME Fed Watch tool, 100% chance people pricing in there of a 25 basis point cut. Since then, it's widened. At one point today, we were closer to 98%. Earlier today, we were closer to 97%. Right now, 97.6% of traders, according to the Fed Watch tool, seeing a 25 basis point cut, 2.4% seeing a 50 basis point cut. So that 25 basis point cut is almost definitely priced in. But we never know what Fed Chair Jerome Powell will say during that press conference in just 1 hour, guys. So stay tuned. We'll have the afternoon show kicking off at 1:50 p.m., where we'll see Sean and Neil react live to that exciting FOMC meeting, guys. Back to you.
Beautiful stuff. Good stuff as always. Dara, VRO trades. Joe, please check PLTR. I'm stuck with 56 calls, end of the week expiration. So I pulled up my chart just for you, my friend. Yeah, it's tough. You don't got too much time there. I don't know what you paid for those contracts. Were they in the money, out the money? A little more detail would be good. But as for 56, I'm not going to roll it out, but again, your break even, if your strike is at 56 and you have a break even at like say 57 or 56 halves, you're going to need this thing to close above 56 halves or 57s in order to be profitable. So yeah, you're going to need it to close above 56 significantly. And if the time value has already been diminished, then you're going to need even a larger move in Palantir. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if this thing were to gap up overnight and then you get that open above the current highs now, which is sitting around 56.60s. But again, if you have the 56 calls, I don't know how many you have. You're going to need that to exceed that and then a little bit more. So you're going to need to look at like 58s or 60s, all right, for that play there, guys. So good luck on that one. I mean, VRO trades, I wish you all the best luck on that one. So that's that one. So no worries, bro. Your option will hit. Yeah, exactly. So stay confident, stay positive. This thing is extremely strong, so I have no doubt in my mind that the possibility is there. You're in the strength, so it won't take much of a gap up. And then you don't know what's going to happen, especially with 2 o'clock just on the horizon, that you could get a little bit pump and then maybe you exceed that price. But what just made new highs and then absolutely rejected is IBIT. I'm really feeling the FOMO on this one, or the ROMO on this one, the reality of missing out on this one, because we just went and breached 43.75 on this trade. So that's unfortunate that we missed this. But again, we'll just wait and see, because I do think we're going to continue on that one as well. Aku, the Explorer Joe, can he roll his position to buy more time? You can obviously buy more time, but as for expiration, they're expired on Friday, so you can roll that position. But those are net debits, so essentially you're going to lose the value of that. You can always open up more contracts, but unfortunately, but that expiration cycle, he can't just buy more time onto those ones. He would have to open up a new expiration cycle. One thing that he can do, and I'm not suggesting this to you, I don't know how many calls you have, but if you do feel that you're going to take a loss on Palantir, you can sell some calls against that position with your strike being 57. You can see what the 60s are paying or the 63s. That way, if the underlying asset does continue to move higher, then you'll be able to do yourself like a debit spread sort of, all right? So keep that in mind. You can sell some calls, but again, you're gonna need a lot of movement. You can sell calls to mitigate and then also do a debit spread on that. But guys, we're gonna send it off to Obi.
Yes, sir. So again, we got an IRE going on. eSignal, trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to an elite trading experience. Analyze, strategize, and capitalize. Foresee profitable opportunities with the platform you need. Infinite data, instant trading. Know where the market is moving before others with lightning fast data. Better backtesting and scanning and predict the future by understanding the past. Reliable, real-time data, up to the second market information from hundreds of global markets. Everything you need all in one place, and don't miss a beat. Execute your best trades now. Ready to elevate your trading? Scan the QR code or check the link in the description, guys. eSignal.
eSignal.
All right. So again, market's taking a little bit of a pullback. I was observing the ES with a bit of an aggressive pullback right there. Again, we failed to follow through that 6,000. The trend has broken on ES, and I guess IONQ still wants to consolidate sideways on 22s there. So that's perfectly fine. Something I'm noticing as well is SMCI is pushing back towards its highs there, only about 20 pennies above its high. So SMCI is hella strong on earnings day 2 as of right now. Let's take a quick look at what you guys are talking about. Do you see Triple M as a good short? Is asking Rated V in the chat. So let's take a quick look at Triple M. Oh boy. All right. So sideways consolidation as of right now, man. So I don't know about that. Again, we got FOMC coming up in less than 20 minutes here, or in about 20 minutes here at 2 o'clock, and then Fed Pow coming in at 2:30 for the speech. So that's something I want to be waiting for before taking any more decisions here. But if you're asking, is it looking good for a short? I have no idea, dude. But the selling off of earnings came in pretty aggressively, is what the chart is showing right there. Look at that pop and drop. No real follow through. Wipes that earnings reaction right there. So did it pull back off of? You know what? I want to go to the weekly on this one real quick to see what we pulled back off of. Oh boy. All right, so we attempted to push some of these highs in through that 140. We can't really get there. Earnings high at that 143, and then we flush coming off into the open. Now earnings happen on October 22nd. We've only been trading sideways from there. So from the information that the chart is showing us, the earnings reaction was not taken. The earnings was not taken quite well as it aggressively sold off and then traded even lower. Coming off of that there. We have tried to reclaim some of those highs right there, but that earnings day 1 high, consolidation high, you can see right here from the action on day 1, again, doing the most relative volume as well, is sitting at 135. We are trading below that 135 with the high of day at 134.78 right now on Triple M. I don't know. Could be a sticky situation for this one if you get caught offside either way for Triple M there on that one there. So let's go Tesla, the gift that keeps on giving, saying hog rider. So let's take a look at what TSLA is up to. Oh boy. All right. So we're holding that 296 as of right now. Let's go to a 3-minute chart right there. Beautiful, beautiful trend here, Joe. Look at that. Absolutely clean. We break that clean break of that trend. Now we're just consolidating chip chop sideways as Tesla potentially charging up for that 300 breakout.
Beautiful. Yeah, beautiful stuff. Obi, 852 likes, 3,600 people. Come on. 150 more likes. If you guys had any fun with us today, all we're doing is just for you to to like and subscribe. That's it. We're not asking much. We're not asking for much. Just click the button. Click the button there. 853 likes. Let's hit that 4 figures. That 1,000 likes. That's what we want to see. It's less than a third of you guys. So come on. Give us that 1,000, and then who knows? Maybe Sharif and I do a push-up competition. No, I'm not going to volunteer, Sharif. I'm only joking. Yeah, I don't want any of that smoke, to be honest with you, at all.
How many push-ups can you do in a row?
I don't know. I haven't counted in a long time, but I would be in trouble against Sharif, so that's not something that I would want to take on. But hey, 1,000 likes, 923, just like that. They want to see the push-up competition between Sharif and I. Sorry, my friend, for volunteering you for that, but that might be an easy, easy W for you. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Obi, BA, VWAP.
Do you even lift, bro?
Do I even? Ooh, ow,
I'm joking.
man.
I'm joking.
Ow.
I know you hit.
Yeah, we're in the gym, man. We're in the gym. We got a big hockey game tonight too at 6:30.
Nice.
So we're looking forward to that one. Yeah, we'll have a hockey game. Maybe we go to the gym after. Look, 990 likes. The people want to see what the people want to see. It's at 1,000. 1K likes. Let's go. 1,000 likes for your boy Joe and Obi with iBit making new highs. So thank you guys so much. That's absolutely fantastic. Hopefully you guys had a good time with us today, because in 9 minutes, we're going to send it off to Neil and Sean for the interest rate decision, which is absolutely going to send some volatility throughout the markets.
Oh boy.
And we're going to look to make some plays. I know Obi's looking to do something very specific. And then what we're going to do is we're going to talk about Obi's plan to have a big trade after JP stops talking. He's going to wait for JP to come on around 2:30 after the decision is made, and then we're going to be looking at Bitcoin as well too, because it's going to have it will be impacted by the decision as well too. But Obi, why don't you run them down on what your potential thesis is coming up?
I mean, I guess, I don't know. I'm looking for potential. He is the reversion man. I'll be looking for a potential reversion. We're strong on the day. I have no idea what's going to happen, but I'm going to wait for price action to show itself and see if that action and the tape kind of dictates for that idea. I have no idea. Big trade. I'm not really anticipating anything too crazy. If it shows up, it shows up, and let's see how we perform on that. That's all I really got planned. Yeah, nothing too crazy. Maybe we'll look at the TQs as well if the market moves heavy, or if if one of the constituents, larger caps, is poised for a little bit of some beta action as well. Maybe one of them is setting up a little bit better. We'll see. I have no idea. Mm-hmm. But you were talking about Boeing a little bit earlier. Yeah, Boeing right here is pulling right back into VWAP. So we were talking about this, and I told you, I was like, as well. I was like, yo, there's no reason to. I mean, where's the reason to buy there for your short? You had a solid short trade there on Boeing, and it comes right into VWAP. And I was like, all right, well, where have the buyers really showed themselves since the open? It's at VWAP. Sure, you get an extension off of VWAP, and there's definitely buyers there, but the buyers are holding that VWAP, and they show up once again in the midday session right here, in and around 11 o'clock, where it holds VWAP, and again, higher low off of VWAP. We start to make a bit of a double top, lower high as well, underneath 152.50. And where do the buyers show up? I have no idea, but we're at VWAP once again, so let's see and observe if there are buyers on Boeing holding it up at VWAP, and let's see if this one can take another do another takeoff off of VWAP after landing there quite aggressively. Look at that selling coming in right back into that VWAP again. VWAP I have sitting here at 150.83. We're trading at 150.92s, so I will pull up this ticker as of right now to see if there's any sort of buying happening here on BA. So let's take a quick look. I will pull up the tape for you guys as well. BA trades on the NYSE, not the NASDAQ. Right here, let me pull up the tape on this one as well. Boom, right here. So let's see. Book's a little bit thin. Look at that. One's on the bid. The ask is a little bit thicker than the bid as of right now. So we got to wait and see if any of that gets slapped around. But there's a couple 10 lots there. Let's see. I'm going to pull the book up. Oh, there it is. 128. There's Buddy right there, sitting right there on top of VWAP. We talk about, is there a VWAP buyer? 150.85. So 150.83 was VWAP. Let's see if that buyer kind of holds up the price action, or that buyer gets taken out. Does the bid get slapped, or does the buyer hold at VWAP and we continue to push a little bit higher on this sideways consolidation that we've been doing here on BA since that morning bid starts to dissipate, and we go sideways in a very wide range, 152 halves to 150 halves here on Boeing, going sideways after that morning momentum kind of carries off here. Okay, so we got VRO trades with the super chat saying, thanks, Joe. I hope PLTR goes up. Stuck right now. Love y'all. Okay, all right. So PLTR, let's see.
Well, we told him some risk mitigation measures too that he can do if he wants to as well, selling some calls against his position. But yeah, pull it up and finish your analysis on that too, because then you get two perspectives on PLTR VRO.
Yeah, trades. We're just trading. So we talked about this one already. We're just trading below VWAP.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
VWAP seller has been dominant.
Well, he was saying because he has these 56 calls with a break even around 56.30. So he's like, okay, what do I do? Because he now needs PLTR to exceed 56 in order to be profitable. But the problem is time is working against him. Right?
Yes.
So that's one thing.
A little bit of a time decay.
Yeah, exactly. So time decay's been chewing it up, and the contracts expire on Friday. So it's like, what do? Do you hold on to those contracts, let them expire worthless, or do you do some risk mitigation measures by selling calls against those position OB, and that way you can reduce the cost of the debit of those initial calls, but then also leave yourself some room to be potentially profitable. But again, time is ticking. It is Thursday, and we have some hot news coming up shortly. We're going to send it up to Sean, Neil, and Brando for 150, and we'll see what happens with that, because if you get the spike VRO trades, then I think you'll be sitting pretty. But if not, if it decides to sell, you also have that second option as well too, where you can mitigate your downside and the cost of that debit by selling some positions as well too. So yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, that's
so
that look.
I see, I'm looking at the chat here. Pranaya is asking, Obi, do you always trade on a 3-minute chart? Why? I like it. I've tried the 1 minute. 1 minute's way too choppy for me. A lot of noise. 2 minutes great. I like the 2 minute as well, but I like a little bit more smoothness there. And the 3 minutes, 3 minute is what I've liked. Now again, there's really nothing too crazy about it. You got to trade on a frame that you're comfortable with what you like. I know people trade on the 5, the 15. I don't only trade, on a 3 minute. I can show you guys my other charts here and all the other frames that I'm consistently watching while I am attempting to day trade some of these tickers here. So look at that. Tesla. I have Tesla open up here on a 3 minute, on a 15 minute, on a 30 minute, on an hour, a daily, and a weekly. And sometimes even I will do a 30-second chart if price action gets a little bit choppy there. You can that beautiful 30-second chart as well on that. So different frames. I like to look at multi-frame perspectives there. Again, looking for participants. So here's the thing. I always talk about how trading is a PvP game, and I know that people are looking at different time frames. I want to know what's happening on multiple time frames, and if there is a confluence of price action of the chart building on multiple frames. Are we taking out the 2 minute players? Are we taking out the 5 minute players? Are we taking out the 15 minute and the 30 minute players? Are the hourly players getting involved? Or what are we doing with some of those levels as well? So I want to keep an eye on all of that to look for that confluence there. So definitely not sticking to just the 3 minute chart. I always like to look at multiple frames while I'm taking those trades there, Joe. So
no, good luck there. You're not wrong there at all, my friend. So good analysis as always by Obi. But we are creeping in. We got 1 minute left. And guys, we hit that 3,700 people watching, 1K likes. That is absolutely fantastic. It's looking like we're getting a little bit more, and there's a lot.
You only got 10 out of 30.
Yeah, but super
chats. You got the rest of the day as well.
Ooh.
If you got those 20 more in,
20
you may
more,
or may not see me.
I think you're in, man. You hit that 1K like, you have to be in there. You bought your way in. You bought your way in with that with those 1K. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how the reversion goes on the TQs to see if you're on the show or not, or you got sent home. We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah,
I'll do my best to manage my risk.
Exactly. So yeah,
let's see. Don't get blown up over here.
Yeah, don't get blown up, guys. Make sure you have your stops in place. I know people are talking about options. If you're in the money or out the money, regardless, even if you're trading equities, just make sure you have your stops in place, because we are anticipating a little bit of volatility here. But guys, it's 150. We're going to send it off to the big desk and the big boys over there.
Yeah.
Go get them, boys.
Take it easy, guys.
Guys, yeah, welcome in. We'll kick things off here for the afternoon a little bit early. We'll get a little bit of a feel of what the overall market reaction could possibly be going into Fed Chair Powell coming up at 2:30. Remember, the Fed decision itself pretty much baked in at this point. This is what the CME Fed Funds tool looks like right now. Yeah, 99% chance of a quarter-point cut. So that's pretty much going to happen coming up at 2 o'clock, and then we'll see what happens going forward. If you look out to December, that would be another quarter-point cut, 66.5% chance of another quarter-point cut. I was reading a lot at lunchtime, and most of what I was reading was suggesting that that might not actually be the case, and they could actually hold after this one today going into the new year, and then see what happens. Remember, with the change in presidency with Trump coming in January, and all these talks of tariffs, that's inflationary. We're seeing bond markets react to that. Bonds across the board a lot higher. So maybe they, take a pause here after today's quarter-point cut, and we'll see what happens going into the new year. But remember, 2:30 will be the press conference with Jerome Powell. We'll get a ton of questions, I'm sure, with regards to his relationship with Trump the first time around and what might happen this time around and how he plans to deal with that, more so than policy, I feel like, this time. But we'll see. Guys, thoughts here? We're up big time, obviously. Session high is coming into play right now for the market.
Yeah, the rallies continue. I mean, obviously, day two. So welcome, everybody. It should be wild. I mean, obviously, we know what we're going to get this time. It's not like the last time when it was undecided whether we get the quarter or we get the 50. I'm with Brennan where, the notion that there would be no cut after the results and the run that we've had, I don't think that was ever going to be in the cards today, just the way that the Fed goes. But certainly that quarter point that everyone's expecting in December, I think is going to be in play. So as usual, at 2:30 when Powell hits the podium and you get the Q&A, I think it's going to matter. Like, we're going to want to see what's in the statement, see how he responds to questions. Is it going to be any hint that it's more likely that December cut could be in jeopardy? Any hint at that? And I think you might see a reaction in specifically maybe IWM and some of the other smaller cap names, the small cap names that require, or not require, but are looking for that interest rate cut. I'm going to have IWM up for sure when he's on that podium. Ooh. As far as runs go, I mean, Tesla's going to be front and center. It's one of the strongest ones today. I'll definitely have to watch that. His VWAP has been great. The 300 break will come into play almost certainly on any spike that we get from Jerome. Like, I think it's almost more fun that Tesla didn't break 300. Everyone looking for that break at lunch, 201, 230. Those are both times that Tesla could make the break.
I canceled that order. What's up, everybody? I still have the same trades as before, man. We still have NVIDIA from the morning, 146.50. It's the same trade. We're still holding on to it. And then we have Palantir from the mid-morning right there, still holding on to it, and Palantir trying to break as well. So for me, I'm going to be locked and loaded on the TQQs. Welcome to the show. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. We're going to have these numbers live for you. We got it in our ear. We got Brennan there surfing the web as well. We'll get these updates as soon as it hits. So right at 2 p.m., you're going to hear that there's going to be a quarter-point cut. It's pretty much baked in. We had the CME Fed rate tool up last time, and it was a zero opportunity for anything other than, let me just make, it was 0.1 before I say zero. Okay, now it's 1% chance that we get 50 basis points. So if it comes 50 basis points, we'll watch out now. But for now, we're expecting 25. So we'll hear 450 to 475. 475 is going to be the rate that they're going to announce. And then we will move forward with the trade. And for me, I just think all aboard, right? We've been all aboard all day. I think it continues here into the close, into Fed. So we'll wait for them to come through. I don't know if you want to break this TQQ level there. I was sort of waiting for maybe a fade of some sort. Because you have to think about it. Okay, so it's 99% chance we're doing this. We're up today. We had the best day in 4 years yesterday, followed by one of the best days again, like one of the best follow-up days, up 1.25%, 1.5% right now. Normally you don't get that. Normally you'll have a nice move up and then a little bit of a pullback, but we continue to go higher. I don't have any stats about the last Fed days or whatever, but I just think with 5 minutes to go, the NASDAQ is sort of telling us what it wants to do, right? It's going up here heading into this number. So maybe that is just a long break and take and hold, but I guess it's just more about the Q&A this time, which won't happen till 2:30.
Yeah.
So when that Q&A hits, that's when you start to hear higher for longer, or obviously that's not going to be the talk, but what we're looking for the next bit. Brendan just sort of teased that. Maybe we'll get 50 next time. Maybe we'll get nothing. Let's just hear what's on talk, and we'll go from there. So names I'm looking at: TQ dip buy if it gets into there, or that break. I mean, we're going to break it right now, so I don't think that's going to be the play. Nvidia, anything longer, we'll be fine with that. We like that kind of a play. Looking at some of the banks here today, the banks are weaker today. I don't know if an as expected number moves the needle here or not, but this is another depressed sort of asset here today that could get going. I do like your IWM play. You're going to look at IWM, Carvana, things like that. Even little plays like Moderna down at 50. I want to bring that into play. That could come into play here today as well. But yeah, Palantir continues to move.
Bitcoin.
Where is it? 76.
So, yeah, exactly.
Geez.
That's the other thing worth
They're
watching.
off on that
Look,
one, boy.
I mean, Bitcoin is at fresh highs. It's been running all these Trump plays. I think he's got to stay in the pocket. Like, I don't know that I want anything except for Tesla, Nvidia, IWM, or Bitcoin. Those are the 4 level 2s and 4 charts that I'm going to have up, specifically IBIT and Mara. I mean, that's usually what we go to. But when you're talking about something that has been running and you expect a reaction, BTC is primed here. I think that could be, even if you're not going to trade it, again, sorry, I was just going over to IWM again. No, even if you're not going to trade it, I think you might want to have this up, because if we start to see a pullback off the highs, remember, all-time highs. If you start to get a pullback off of those highs, that can be a little bit of a signal, and you want to listen to those tea leaves, especially when we get that whipsaw action. So for pullbacks, VWAP's always going to be in play for things like Nvidia and Tesla, but eyeballs on whether it's IBIT, whether it's Bitcoin in general, I think you're going to want to have that up. I know we usually look at the futures. Of course, we'll watch the Qs for a bit of a lead.
I mean, Tesla's that 300.
It's Tesla's
that's the other play.
Yeah, the Tesla 300, I just feel like that's a no-brainer. IWM, by the way, is red today. That's why if he gets all... Look, if Jerome starts signaling that that December cut is in question, I think IWM is going to be a play. But
is that what Brandon said?
Well, I think it's more likely that if there's a reaction, to me, it's more likely if there's a reaction to the election and possible policy change, you're not doing that today. Like it might be the next move is the pause happens in December instead of in January, which is a very slight change.
Trump doesn't even take office
till January.
Yeah, the 3rd week in January, and we're already going to have another earnings season before then.
Exactly.
So yeah, here's Tesla. We missed.
Oh, what's going to happen?
We missed that. We missed that 90 break, which sucked. I mean, I think pretty much everybody missed it. I don't know if anybody behind us got it.
Not a single person.
It just shot right up there, like almost. And this is a 1-minute candle. That same minute that it broke, it went to 291.30s. I'm still only crossed up 40 cents. That's as much as I crossed up the first time.
This is different.
Yeah, I mean, I can't predict it, but I don't want to necessarily get long too much higher than that. Like, even though, 50 cents, like, look, at the end of the day, if it goes up, you're going to be fine with whatever price you get, but we're going to try to do that. So a break higher, I really like that. The level right now is 85s, but if you're going to wait for that, you might as well wait for the whole kit and caboodle. So we have just less than a minute left. We'll wait for it. I'm going to be watching the TQQs, but then again, where is that? We had Jerome. Where's the picture of Jerome? I had it around here, and then it's gone now. But anyways, where is that picture over there, Fabian? No?
Oh, we moved it to put the brisket there. That's what happened.
Anyways, okay.
You don't want to get it greasy.
Anyways, he's going to be coming up very, very soon. This is the man right here. He is not calling us, so that's the thing. Now, normally he does, but, for now he's busy, so we'll see what happens now. Going to read the statement. We might as well go over. There's only 45 seconds right now left. We'll go over to Brendan, and we'll get ready to rock and roll. I don't need these napkins here.
All right, real quick here, I wanted to show this. We were talking about bond markets spiking essentially into this decision. It's been a big red candle today for bonds. That's the 10-year. There's the dollar, looks very similar. Huge spike yesterday, right back down today ahead of this decision. Let's bring up the economic calendar here. This is where we'll get the, this is not where. We'll get the actual rate decision will come in down here. So 4.75 expected. As we saw on the Fed funds tool, it will be 4.75. Under 10 seconds to go here. 2 and 1. 25 basis point cut confirmed, guys. So 4.75 on the actual interest rate for the Fed for this meeting. As we said, it's going to depend a little bit more on what comes not only at 2:30, but what comes in December and what they point to coming up in the new year. So we'll throw it over to the guys.
I took the long here in the TQs, but just a very, very small position. It comes out as expected, so I'm going to take that long, just very, very small. Voting 12-0, 12-0 was the vote. So I'm going to wait to see if we get a VWAP. We'll hold a very, very small piece here, see what winds up happening. 81.80. I think as expected, Fed lowering the rate now by 25 basis points. It doesn't seem like we're getting too much action here anywhere. NVIDIA just goes up and down 30 cents. This is almost like this is like a generic manufacturing number that just came out. All right, so all that's happened. Look at the spike in volume on the TQQ. Oh yeah, not existing. So not much rate there happening at all in the markets this second. We'll hold a we have like 5% of a position just to see if it works. We're gonna get a little bit more here. I think it's stay the course. I mean,
yeah,
Tesla didn't even do anything.
No, Tesla's move was maybe up and down 70 to 80 cents, dollar if you try to squint your eyes and get the real top to bottom there. IWM also not really doing a heck of a lot of anything here. Like there was a little bit of a bounce through VWAP and now we're right back in there. So again, not a crazy reaction. You are consolidating, however, so there is a chance that we're gearing up for something. Want to be, fingers on the trigger just in case we do get a bit of a spike, VWAP, dip buy, or breakout here. Brendo.
Dollar and yield spiking here, guys. One notable change, they've removed reference to gaining confidence on inflation moving further towards their goal of 2%. So again, they've taken that out. I'll grab the statement when it comes up, but again, they've taken that out, gaining confidence that the overall economy is moving towards that 2%.
Okay, I mean, we're long here at a crazy price because we put it at the top. So I'm going to actually bid now on the TQQ, see if we can get something going. I mean, if Tesla breaks, we'll go over there. You'll hear us all about it. I'm going to buy a little bit more there. I didn't hear anything that Brendan just mentioned there, or we'll get them as we go. Brendan's going to be sifting through that report and giving us what's been crossed off, what are the new talks back and forth. But for right now, we'll sit here. I'm going to buy ahead of VWAP because, I mean, I liked VWAP and I like the 200 period here on the NASDAQ. And again, I'm trading the triple Qs, so that's a futures contract. Well, it's the futures, it's not a contract, but it will be 3 times the move. So hopefully, if it goes, we'll be able to be here. But I'm just going to play this like normal. If we drop below VWAP, then we're going to get out. We'll just try to average into it down here. Could be complete disaster, but 81, basically like an 81 break. We'll take more shares down here at VWAP. Just trying to like leg into something. I feel like when there's Q&A, it's stay the course. It's he's going to try to be friendly with President Trump, I guess. They kind of got along okay there.
Well, I mean, considering
makeup on it,
he's always like, oh, well, I'm going to try to fire you in this and that. I think it'll be a little. It'll be a little different this time. When you get a sweep, let's be real. That means you got more pull, and everything starts to fall more in line. It's a little surprising, man. I thought we'd get a little more action. IWM's starting to roll over. Here's what I'm seeing right now. NVIDIA is holding up pretty decently. IBIT is pulling back. This might be indicating that we could be pulling back in Bitcoin. I see IWM is making some fresh lows. Tesla, I'm surprised how little Tesla is doing. That's a little shocking to me given how volatile it's been. But you're not getting any press into VWAP here. I don't wonder. NVIDIA certainly looks pretty strong, relatively speaking. Even the banks, Sean.
Wow, they're going up, but not much.
Yeah, there's nothing move happening in JPM, but really it's very tiny. You're talking about a 40-50 cent move in JPM, which is down 4 points. Brendan?
All right, here it is. This is what I was mentioning before. So this statement here, the committee has gained greater confidence that inflation is moving sustainably toward 2%. Crossed out, so that's gone. So suggesting that maybe their confidence is no longer as high. They've also made a couple of just very minor, it looks like, wording changes at the top and the middle here as well as far as what they're doing with the rate. But anyways, it's a quarter-point cut. We'll see what he has to say at 2:30.
Okay,
yeah, we have plenty of time for him to come in. Like I said, Bitcoin's still dropping.
I feel fine with all this.
Yeah, I think sometimes you just have to be patient. But the only thing that's starting to move, and I think when you get NVIDIA's trying to go, Bitcoin is trying to go down, and IWM is heading toward that low. So this is heading down. I was more thinking this IWM was a 230 type of play when he hits the podium. but you're starting to see it roll over, and it's going to break down. I do not like chasing a move here. Maybe we'll get some kind of a pullback into VWAP. I actually have my eyeballs on NVIDIA because of its relative strength, more so than jumping in early on a short in IWM. Just not getting the feels on that one. What I do like is every single tick down on most of the things I'm watching have resulted in ticks up on NVIDIA. It is holding the line. There's buyers 148. I can cancel, don't really need both those. There's buyers 148, and it's looking to break out a local high here on NVDA. So this one at least looks relatively strong in there. So I think NVIDIA breaking this local high past the third is going to look pretty good, as clearly there's some strength and nothing else is doing anything.
I mean, guys, let's just call it like it is. We have, here's Powell right here. We still have this exact trade. So this is from the morning that we posted it out right here. There's NVIDIA 146.50. There's Palantir 54 dip. We also had the 56 long. That was a fun trade today, wasn't it? So we're just still in the same trade. I'm going to take NVIDIA off here at 40 if it can come up. We just had a little piece there, and then we'll hold one last piece to see if it does anything differently. But for right now, this is the play for me. It's NVIDIA. It's long. I mean, IBIT right now, just to have a quick look at what crypto's been doing. Again, there it is right there. Actual decision. 475. So we get that quarter point rate cut, and there you go. You see it right on our screen. So that's, we'll keep posting it up there as you can see, but that's what it is right there for now. Nice drip down here for 200 period. Now, Bitcoin could be a buy right down here at this 200 period moving average. I mean, if I think everything is sort of status quo, then I think this is probably a decent spot to do that. So let's put an IBIT bid in and around 40 and see if we can't get some love there. We just got that. Did we get that on NVIDIA? No, we did not. Oh no, it just went to 38. We're at 40s, but it's all good. Here it comes. One more penny or two, and there it is right there. It's a $2 winner, and we're pretty happy with it, as you can see. So let's just wait to see where it goes from now. But I like the trade here. NVIDIA still moving to the upside. Obviously, Palantir is going. I mean, a lot of these, well, I mean, it's not really going, I guess. I was going to say most of the tech names probably starting to go. We don't really have anything to do now on the TQs. It's a flat trade for us. That was small. We just basically averaged into it light. Our average price now is 20s. If we took the same amount of shares, our average price would be 15s. So let's wait to see if it gets back to the upside. We'll take a piece out when we get higher. But for right now, just kind of holding out here, waiting to see if anything moves. I mean, we've got banks on our mind, and then
Tesla's
honestly,
starting to go.
That was the one name. I have Tesla up, and I have it up on the side screen here, but a 298.50 right now, looking for a $3 bill break. NVIDIA is the one that's running, man. NVIDIA's already at all-time highs. It's at 148.50. It is absolutely rocking. Palantir's near all-time highs, obviously. And some of the oil names maybe moving around. Disney moving around. Micron. We could check on Disney. ARM.
Yeah, ARM was a big runner. So, look, NVIDIA broke that third. I'm just going to jump in. It was the only thing going, and you saw it stair-step to the upside, kind of very clean on a 3-minute. Bottom wick, like these little 10-cent trailing bottom wicks. Now, remember the high of the day today is 148.75. So if we get to that price, I want to take some out in front. Now we're starting to break a little bit higher. The other thing that we want to work over, want to watch is obviously going to be Tesla. The order is not going anywhere. I'm leaving this in. So I'm crossing to like 32. I think didn't cross far enough on the 290. I tend to think that 300 is a different liquidity situation than $290. So expanding how far the limit order gets crossed on a breakout, I'm not going to do it at a 300 level. I feel like you should get a good fill here on Tesla. It's about $299 and trying to crank higher as we speak. So up 3.5%. It's been a strong one. IBIT's starting to bounce back. Even IWM is catching a bid here. But it's only been 10 minutes. It's 20 minutes till Powell hits the podium. We know that is a big deal. So we want to be poised and ready to watch. If there's anything you guys watching that might be moving a bit more than the names that we're talking about, let us know in the chat. Remember, you got to be a sub to be in the chat. So if you want to throw a symbol in there, ask a question, participate, hit that subscribe button, hit that like, jump in there and let us know what's going on. I just saw Vols just saying in the chat there, DJT is moving. That's a name, to be honest, I wasn't really thinking too much about DJT for this event. Really just thinking about more of the things that are going to follow the market. It is starting to creep off of those lows. Feel like it might be in its own bucket today, but worth keeping an eye on. It's definitely down 20% and capable of moving. We had some shots on this one earlier, but I'm not sure it will have anything to do with Powell at 230 on DJT, but it is worth a watch, creeping up to VWAP there after what was a rough day for DJT today.
I was biting my tongue to stop complaining about not getting filled. We're on the TQQs at 28s, 82.28. It just keeps on doing this and then stopping. I don't know why that's happening. If you come over to the screen right now, it's only to take 8 cents on 10%. I'm going to try to do 10% outs here, and then try hold like 70% for the Q&A, hopefully. So, like, if we had 27s, we'd be out. Like, it's so stupid that we were at 28s, but I'm going to be stubborn and wait for that. And again, that's just this high right there that we just cannot break through it. It's 28. That's why I'm sitting there trying to get that fill. Hopefully it doesn't turn around on us. All right, so we got out of NVIDIA some there. We did not get out of some Palantir. Let's look for something else. All right, so here we go. That's Palantir. That's the TQQs. Bank stocks. We saw WFC yesterday. I mean, I already looked a little bit at JP Morgan. It was starting to go up. Okay, WFC. Like, honestly, I would love to look to make a trade here on something. It's just nothing right now lining up. JP Morgan as well. We can have another look there. So it's starting to creep higher. This could be a trade right here, breaking through 238 and change above the 50, above the 200 right there. 238 15s, 238 12s on a little bit of a break. I mean, how does that look if we bring this back out? Yeah, I mean, problem is that's almost $1 away. So, okay, I mean, that's not bad. You know, not a bad spot right here. See about getting along. 238 15s, 238. Yeah. All right, let's try that against 238. What is that bottom? 237.75. All right, so try to give this trade about 50 cents. So now what goes through my mind is like, okay, how much risk do we want to put on for 50 cents worth of a trade, so on and so forth. So we'll do that. So 238, and that's turning around. 238.21, I think we're going to put in a bid to see if we can break this little shelf here, and we'll be at the top side and go long. So we'll try JP Morgan just in case. Okay, come on, we're very, very close. 2 more pennies and fill for 10% of the position.
Let's do it. Come on.
All right, so JP Morgan, I'm going to try it.
Yeah, JP, super strong one. And another one that's super strong. Thank you, Jake Carr, for the super chat. IonQ, the quantum computing darling today, 32% to the upside. We appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much for that. Just hit the like and subscribe, and make sure you share. That's all we ask for. Enjoy the show as well, and everyone have some fun with the show. And of course, good luck in your trading. This is a rocket ship, and obviously, if this breaks out another time here, I think it's already one parabolic move, and a lot of people are caught offside. It has been in a bit of a downward trend, and when we got some spikes just now, like you see the market coming back up, it's not really going. That's what I don't like it when you have something like this already so extended and we're starting to blast and it's not participating. I'd be a little bit cautious with that. Like if it loses that flag on a day like today, I mean, volatility is already going to be there. So I'm a little skeptical of IonQ. It seems like it's running out of steam. IWM just also continuing lower. This one is definitely weak. IWM is definitely weak here. If 230 comes and Powell gives the wrong feels, I mean, IWM is kind of looking like a flat bottom break. I was thinking more usually VWAP if I wanted short or into resistance, because on a Fed day, you're expecting that rubber band action, like that initial move. It gave you VWAP really quickly, but you had to be just sitting on the offer on IWM. Does look like this is certainly going to be a fade type play. I don't want to be looking longs in IWM. If we start blasting, there's other places to go. This sucker looks a little bit sick. If you're looking at crypto, which I am, Mara is starting to set up pretty nicely. VWAP hold, double high break of yesterday's top right in here, 19.6, 19.55 today, 5 cents difference, who cares? IBIT and Bitcoin are about to get to the high of the day any second now. So Mara is on the radar for a crypto play. But yeah, that IonQ, that kind of scares me that it's not bouncing with the market here.
Yeah, very, very sweet of you, Nessa. Thank you so much for the super chat right here. $10. I already hit the thumbs up. Appreciate it. And Nessa right here is saying, and that disappeared there. Love your guys' show, part of the show. Thank you. Can't imagine trading and not hearing your voice. I apologize about my voice, but thank you so much, Nessa, for that one. And we cannot imagine doing this without all of you as well. So thank you for all the continued support. And thanks for the super chat. It's very, very kind of you. You did not have to do that. Thank you, Nessa, for that one. And I mean, hopefully, Nessa, you are long something here as far as either Palantir or NVIDIA or Tesla or something today, because today's another one of those days as we continue to go higher. We did get it, so let's go a little bit of a hot dog cannon right here for that trade. We'll hit some sirens as well. Get that hot dog guy out of here. So there's a couple trades that we had put on for you. TQs, so we do get that 28, and that's where it stops. So sort of glad that we talked about that level, because at least it's not doing anything and just stopping there. So we're able to take something out and give you guys an idea of what we're looking at, and that's what I'm looking at right there. So, all right, Tesla 290.